I used Rust-Oleum bed liner for the inner fender wells here and for the underside of the fenders. Let's see if I can show you one of these. See that there? Just for a little bit of protection, but also color match, to be honest, because my two rear fenders came from an orange bug, so the underside was orange. Two front fenders were original to the bug, so they were in the toga white. It is the low texture bed liner. It's not real nappy chunky like I have, you see in here. That's pretty rough stuff. This stuff here, pretty smooth. So what I'm doing now, running boards. These suckers are in really rough shape. Structurally sound, dented. I'm going to pound that out. Not really rusted out, but the rubber is shot. And so what I want to do, rather than buy a new set, I am going to use the rest of the bed liner on these. So I'm going to do a little bit of scraping off of the rubber, and then I will bring you guys back and show you the raw product. Show you a few of the things I'm wrestling with. So this is the plastic cover. Might have been rubber at one point. Mine's basically cracked and rotted. And it drops into a channel, if you see here. Okay. That channel grips it. So if I remove the plastic, I will now have an exposed channel on that side, which I do not want. So what I'm doing, and again, these are pretty trashed running boards. See the bends and the twists and the dents and the rust. So worst case scenario, this is just good exercise but a waste of time. What I'm doing, and you can see it over here, is I'm rolling that lip under, and then I'm going to cut it off right along this sort of the bottom of that trench, so that this part of that U channel gone, the back side of the U channel will still be there, and I'll roll that under again so that I have a nice rounded edge on the bottom. That will also allow me to get this out because it is squeezed in there pretty darn tight. So all I'm doing is I'm using some vice grips to bend the channel over to get it started, and then if I really need to beat on it, ball peen, but more often than not using my body hammer, which is a little bit better for this, a little less damage, a little, fewer dents, and then I just keep whacking at it. I have moved inside just out of politeness for the neighbors. Back at it. Success. Cutting through. The metal wasn't too bad. Some spots my cuts were a little shallow, but better too shallow than too deep. So you can see here, I will refine that edge. Continue on down. I already popped it loose there. Alright, I'll bring you back in a minute. So I've rolled the lip in most of the way. Here you can see how much I've rolled it in compared to what I still have left to do. And then I'm going to just come back with a grinding disc, get rid of that edge. It's actually worked out well. If you see these little notches, there's a little rectangular slot there, all along. What that is that's where the chrome strip attaches. I'm obviously dechroming the bug, so I wasn't going to use it, but it gives me a nice way to sort of gauge that my bend is largely in the same spot all the way down. Again, it's going to happen right there. So, pretty good. I think so far it's working. I will have some other issues to deal with, and the other running board has a bit more of a dent in it, but I think actually folding that lip over is going to maybe make it work a little better, have a little bit more rigidity. So, back to it. Okay, so this thing is just about ready to go. I did notice a rust hole there. Not sure if you guys can see that. Now you can see it. So I've got to work on that. If you come around over here, that rolled edge is working. So I'm happy with it. It will work for me overall. That bend there, that's supposed to be there, so I'm not bothered by that at all. Everything is looking pretty good. So now all I got to do is patch that weld, a little bit of Permatex rust coat, and then go to work on the next one. Permatex on, already turning to the darker black from the sort of white Pepto-Bismol that it has. I think that'll give me a nice good seal. Then I can just put the bed liner over the top of it. This is where the bend is that's not supposed to be there. So I'm trying to, I'm hoping that by putting a new lip in here, it's going to sort of, as I fold it over, it'll pull that out a little bit and make it work a little bit more correctly. I'm just running out of leverage to do that. Much harder on the skinnier end. Try the little guys. This is one of the dollies that I use. I find that curve works well and that flat surface. So hold it underneath and pound. Put a little more weight into it. Time to cut the lip off. Got a few pinholes there. So I'm going to try to clean those up, fill in a little bit of that pitting, grind it smoothish, and then Permatex coat. Definitely tell this thing was sitting outside for 14 years without the rubber on it. A lot of pitting. I'm not trying to get all of it, just the stuff that's real structurally questionable. As always, once I've welded, I've got to grind. You can see a lot of the pitting starting to show. Hopefully the Permatex fills that a little bit. I'll probably put a little bit extra on those spots. And then bed liner. As I'd hoped, rolling that lip over largely got rid of that dent that was right in this area here. It was really caved in, if you remember. So that's a pretty straight line. It's a little bit flattened right there, but I'm okay with that. It's not going to be nearly as noticeable as what it was like before. And if you come over here, you can see when that Permatex really starts to do its work. It's pretty dark. This is where I ground off some of the rust from that pit. So, looking good. And this one's on its way. Finishing up the refurbishment of the running boards. You can see a bit of the pitting still right in here. See these little dents and stuff, but I don't think it'll be as big of a concern because of the texture of the bed liner itself. If you think if this was in a gloss black, obviously they would show quite significantly. But I'm pleased. Better to use an original part than just buy a new one. Here is the stuff that I bought. Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. On my little Jeep and on the outside and roof of my big Jeep, I used Herculiner, but I'm obviously not going that way this time. That stuff's much chunkier. So, pleased. Better to use an original part than just buy a repop. A little bit of labor, the last little bit of truck bed coating. I think it's a win. Finished up with the running board, all installed. It's looking pretty good. Got the fenders on today too, so that's nice. And over here, same. So there you have it. Not quite stock, but I didn't have to buy anything new. Make do with what I got, so that's always good. Thanks for watching. Please give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, maybe share with some friends if they like this kind of stuff too. And thanks for watching. See you guys.